With the permission of the council, for the panel of prosecutors as well as the counsel for the respondent, um, we will be adjourning in a few minutes for our afternoon session. So as to be able to move on somewhat, the court directs that Hailene go over these documents after today's trial so that when she continues her testimony on Monday, that she can already testify as to those documents, if indeed those are the same documents that she reviewed, perused, and were turned over to her by Attorney Wamil. In the meantime, counsel, perhaps you can proceed with the table of or the summary prepared by either with Mr. Wamil or the witness before we call for adjournment. At least napakinggan natin si Ms. Hailene.
Your Honor, just a quick manifestation, Your Honor.
Yes, counsel for respondent.
Yes, Your Honor. We noted that the list of accounts, which was supposed to be prepared by Mr. Wamil, with the caption OVP, open parenthesis, December 21 to 31, 2022, close parenthesis, was unsigned and it was undated. Second, the witness is merely flipping the pages without comparing the ARs with the list, Your Honor, to check whether the ARs are the same with what was listed by Mr. Wamil, Your Honor. And the third one is that we note that the folders containing the ARs were not marked as exhibits of the prosecution, Your Honor. For the record, Your Honor.
Duly noted. However, the witness may testify as to the summary and or table if she's aware of it and if indeed it was part of the documents turned over to her by Mr. Wamil. Counsel for the panel of prosecutors.
Your Honor, we are tempted to make a counter manifestation, Your Honor. Because, Your Honor, these manifestations, Your Honor, are because of their own doing, Your Honor. But in any event,
I hope you won't give in to the temptation, counsel.
I will not. I will not, Your Honor. It's the wisdom of age. I will not.
Let's get something out
Yes,
of
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Hailene.
In fact, Your Honor, may I continue? May we continue to aid this honorable presiding officer that during the interregnum from today's proceedings until Monday, there will be other tabulations, Your Honor, and there will be other acknowledgement receipts. And we propose, Your Honor, and regret that this is not unusual, but it is necessary, Your Honor, that all of these documents, because counsel says that this witness was just flipping over them, they can do this in front of the defense counsels and us, Your Honor, for the next succeeding days, because we will be going over 4,492 documents and six summaries, Your Honor. Hopefully that we will be doing that in the next days out of court so that by Monday it will be a speedier presentation of testimonial evidence.
If you're converting that in, are you making a motion, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, may we so move that we be allowed to do this, not only as respect to the last quarter of December 2022, which is suggestion of the presiding officer, but to all the quarters, quarter 1, 2, and 3 for the OVP, and quarter 1, 2, and 3 for the DepEd.
Only with respect to the acknowledgement receipts.
Only with respect to, Your Honor, the acknowledgement, the acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor.
Aside from the ask for transfer of markings this afternoon, wala naman kayong mga appointment ng Webes at Biyernes, di ba?
Your Honor, can I comment
Yes,
on that, Your
counsel
Honor?
for the respondent.
Your Honor, under the rules, the witness has to identify the document in open court. The problem with their stipulation, Your Honor, is that they will be having the witness identify the documents out of court. So therefore, it is no longer part of the trial, and there's a problem when it comes to the offer. There will be a problem when it comes to their offer of evidence, Your Honor. And with regard to the counter manifestation or the statement of counsel that we want to, look at the witness while she's flipping the document, Your Honor. Precisely that is what we are doing right now, Your Honor. So we object to the proposal that the examination of the ARs be done outside the court, Your Honor.
I think the purpose...
Your Honor, please,
Counsel for Attorney Kapunan, the court views it perhaps as an opportunity to provide an avenue for possible stipulation as to the ARs that you did not stipulate on. Because if I remember correctly, the reason why the ARs presented earlier, the 845, under the witness, Attorney Wamil, was that the observation of the respondent was it was simply contained in a folder, transparency on a folder, and that there was no real sequence to it. So perhaps we can set a date for possible stipulation on the ARs, not really for the witness to confirm it, but for possible stipulation on the ARs, if the respondent is open to it.
Your Honor, unfortunately, we will not stipulate, Your Honor. We didn't stipulate in the case of Wamil, Your Honor. The same position is maintained, Your Honor, in the case of this witness, Your Honor, because after the ARs have been submitted to the Commission of Audit, Your Honor, the OVP and the DepEd no longer had control over these ARs. So therefore, we do not know what were the receipts that were provided by the COA and how many receipts were given by the COA to the prosecution, Your Honor. And second, these are not common exhibits because we did not mark those documents or ARs as our own. We didn't adopt them as our own evidence, Your Honor. And third, the ARs that were presented or are being presented now by the prosecution have not been compared with our own copies, Your Honor. So we cannot determine with certainty, Your Honor, if their ARs are actually identical with our copies, Your Honor.
Counsel,
so
that is
we cannot-
precisely the opportunity the court is opening a chance for you to do so, to compare it with your copies of your ARs. Again, if you so desire. I mean, this is only for the purpose
Your Honor,
of
please,
expediting.
if I may, Your Honor.
Counsel for respondent will please respond first before to the query of the presiding officer before I recognize Attorney Kapunan. Yes, Attorney Christine, so you do not want to take the opportunity to compare your copies of the ARs with their copies of the ARs as submitted to COA or as allegedly submitted to COA?
Your Honor, upon discussion with the team, Your Honor, unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Noted. Attorney Kapunan, what is your pleasure?
With due indulgence, Your Honor, now I will give in to my temptation. First, Your Honor, what is happening now could have been prevented had we done this exercise during the pretrial. When the clerk of court asked for stipulation on documents, these included stipulations on the acknowledgement receipts. That was the opportune time for the defense counsel to have examined page by page, receipt by receipt, the faithful reproduction of the COA AR copies with their own copy, Your Honor. They passed upon this opportunity. Now that we want it done more expeditiously by a motion that I have proposed, which incidentally I wish to amend, that because of their objection to it being an out of court, may we amend my motion, Your Honor, that it be done in front of the clerk of court and that the clerk of court be duly authorized by authority of the Honorable Impeachment Court to preside over the sessions, Your Honor. The same way as clerks of court, designated officers can mediate between the parties as to a possible amicable settlement or stipulation. And this will be, Your Honor, and I'm sorry, I'm seeing
Please
them
continue, Counsel.
nodding in acceptance of the motion. Unfortunately,
I think quite the opposite, Counsel, because he's not looking forward to the workload.
Your
But please
Honor,
proceed.
And so, if that is done, Your Honor, then we will be making more efficient use of the time of this honorable court. The marking, the identification by this witness, the comparison of both the prosecution markings
These
and the
ARs have
defense
not been
markings.
individually marked, counsel?
They have been marked, Your Honor.
Counsel, for
matter
the
of
respondent,
fact-
you said they were not yet marked, the ones being showed to the witness.
No, Your Honor. They were marked already, Your Honor, but we also have our own marked copies, Your Honor.
They were marked, but you also...
So, meaning, Your Honor, we have separate documents or ARs that were marked, Your Honor.
That is precisely my point,
Your Honor,
counsel.
please.
That is precisely my point, counsel. Before the clerk of court, this is like an extended or additional pre-trial. Perhaps this can be done before the clerk of court.
Yes,
You
Your
need
Honor.
not stipulate to all, only to those that exactly the same as your copies. It can be 10 out of 845, 844 out of 845. I do not know, really, quite frankly. But we'd rather give you the opportunity than litigate this in open court, piece by piece, similar to the stipulation asked for by the counsel for the panel of prosecutors. In relation to the witness viewing it or looking at it, if it is stipulated, then there is no need for her to actually peruse, go through, or look at it for long periods of time. Only with respect to the questioned ones or those not stipulated to by the counsel for respondent. I think the court is inclined to allow for this one more opportunity to stipulate as to the acknowledgement receipts. Again, there is no it is not mandatory. The court is not forcing the counsel for respondent to stipulate on documents they refuse and don't want to stipulate. But since you have your own copies of ARs, and since the issue pertains to the chain of custody, after you submitted it to the COA, then the court would like to afford you the opportunity to compare it. Again, you need not stipulate on anything. You don't have to stipulate on a single one, but the court would rather give one more chance or one more time to try to do this, to save on the court's time, without prejudice. Again, to the respondent or counsel for respondent saying that they refuse to stipulate because they are different from the copies that they have. Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, we will agree to that proposal, Your Honor, but we provided, Your Honor, that we will not be forced to stipulate that the ARs are authentic, etc. And then the date and time, Your Honor, shall be mutually agreed upon by the parties.
Of course.
Of course, Your Honor. I think,
Of course, the date and time should be mutually agreed upon between Thursday and Friday.
Your Honor, please, you asked for it.
Because
Your
insofar
Honor,
as
please.
this witness is concerned, give me one date on one time slot on Thursday and Friday which you can agree on after we adjourn.
Your Honor, please, if I may add as well. In the marking of this exhibit, Your Honor, before the Honorable Clerk of Court, each acknowledgement receipt had 3 signatures. The signature of the Clerk of Court, the signature of one of the representatives for the prosecution, and the signature of the defense counsel, Your Honor. 3 signatures per document. And now they still want. They had signed each of these acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor. That's number 1. Number 2, Your Honor, perhaps to restore a level of trust on the side of the defense, maybe we can even use their own documents. If they do not trust the prosecution's documents or photocopies of the prosecution's documents, then we will use their documents, Your Honor, because we are certain that their documents is the same as our documents. Let's use the defense documents, Your Honor. Then they will not say, we do not trust these documents because it is their own defense documents. Maybe that will solve the problem of this court. We will use your documents, counsel. Will you still question using your own documents? Will you still question the authenticity of your own documents?
Of course not, Your Honor.
Okay.
Of
Then
course not,
maybe
counsel.
that is
but
a possible solution, Your Honor. Let us use the defense documents instead of the prosecution documents. Para wag na tayong mag-compare. Thursday, Friday, manonood pa ako ng Odyssey.
I'm sorry, Counsel. The presiding officer was not yet elected during the pre-trial, hence I did not know what went on during the pre-trial. Apparently, the respondent or counsel for respondent has a different purpose and/or intention with respect to the ARs from that of the prosecutor. Therefore, that's why they refused a common marking on the same AR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct? So they have their own set of ARs, and you have your own set of ARs that was marked during pre-trial, correct, counsels?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Now, all that the court is asking is for an opportunity to be had by the parties once more to compare your respective marked ARs to be able to distinguish and find out if indeed they are the same or not, regardless of whatever purpose or theory each party may have with respect to presenting the ARs, given that they are common exhibits. We will not touch into that, counsel for respondents. So your concern with respect to authenticity and purpose will not be touched on. Only insofar as that it is the same AR that you received, it is the same AR that you sent to the COA, that you also have a copy of, that they are presenting. And insofar as ARs that you did not send COA or did not come from you, then you can point that out to as the case may be or as may be appropriate. Again, without any pressure nor any mandate from the court for you to stipulate on all, just the opportunity to do so. Kindly agree on a date, counsels, on a time rather, between Monday and Thursday. If that is not possible, then we will continue as we have this afternoon. But kindly agree on a date. Court so directs the parties to fix a date and be able to present the same, be present before the clerk of court to compare the ARs they separately marked and to confirm if indeed which ones are the same and which ones are different for whatever purpose it may serve both parties, given that they are commonly marked. So ordered. Hailin, sorry, babalik ka. Wala tayong magagawa. Court will have to wind up at this point because otherwise we will be continuing with this prolonged marking of evidence, which will not only bore the viewing public but the senator, judges as well, the presiding officer and the Senate President included. So we will have to cut it short at this point in time and discuss already some administrative matters before we adjourn in time for our session. Yes, Attorney Kapunan.
Just one more ask, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Earlier in the proposal for stipulation, counsel for defense was kind enough to stipulate on certain documents, Your Honor, except for 10 documents, Your Honor. Since this opportunity is given by this honorable court to compare, and we understand that their reluctance to stipulate on these 10 documents is because of their claim that it does not faithfully represent the originals. May we ask also that these 10 documents be perused during the period given?
If only to give it a second chance and a second look, given that not much time was given to the counsel for respondents to view it. They were only given 20 minutes. So, yes, the court will allow it to allow the respondents more time to go over it for possible stipulation. Again, no pressure, Attorney Christine. You don't have to if you don't want to. You don't have to if you don't wish to. But the court just wants to give it one more shot.